Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you are well because I am well, meaning that I made it to the other side of my last Schizoaffective episode. If you've not been following along this whole time, that is fine, but a few weeks ago I made a video talking about how I felt when I was depressed. The following week, last weekend, was how it was like when I was in a mixed state, and now finally I get to say that I have recovered and I am back to my usual self. And it's incredibly freeing. So one thing I wanted to do for this video, and this is a first for me, is kind of do a what did I learn from my last episode? What can I take away from that experience that can help me better prepare to deal with my mental health crises in the future? And what better way to do it than to make a video about it? Because you guys know I love talking about mental health. So yeah, so here are 3 things I learned from my last episode. The first one is that it's okay to take time off to deal with mental health. When my boss first told me a couple of years ago that if my mental health acted up and I needed to take a day, that all I had to do was say the word and then I could have the day. Like it was basically pre-approved mental health time if I needed it. And this whole time I was like, no, I don't need it, I don't need it. And I suffered a lot, but I got through stuff. And I'm like, nah, I don't need to take the day, I don't need to take the day. My vacation days are piling up, I could totally take a day. And it had to get to the point where I could barely get out of bed before I actually said, yeah, hey, I need to take a day. And I felt like internally, the mindfulness of current thought that I was feeling was I thought I failed. I thought I had lost something. I'd lost some battle mentally. And that's just not the case. I hadn't lost anything. I took an opportunity and to take care of myself. I actually made steps to help myself in that episode. And so it was so funny because I was so stressed out, and Sunday night a while back, and I took that Monday off. Sorry, I'm being confusing. But Sunday night before I took Monday off, I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, God, I have to do this. I don't want to have to do this, but I think I have to do this. And so I emailed my boss, said, hey, not coming in on Monday. And the relief that I felt after I sent that email was not something I had expected. And so taking Monday off was good. I ended up going out and walking the mall with my dad. I took just time for myself just to be. I slept in. I took care of myself, and it was a really good experience. And then Tuesday I went back to work. Wednesday I went back to work. I have a video about this whole experience, but I want to focus on the fact that taking those days off was not a bad thing. It was a good thing. And it's something I should feel not shameful about doing in the future, because I was surprised at how well it really helped. And so that moves on to my second thing, about another thing that really helped. And it's that getting out of my apartment at least once a day is a good idea. My dad, every day that I wasn't at work, that I was off work or whatever, he would call me and say, hey Kit, do you want to go walk the mall with me? And he and I regularly go walk our local mall, and we'll do 4 miles in about an hour and a half. It's really nice. And he asked me to do that every single day that I was available to do it. And it really, really, really helped. And that's the thing about stuff like this, is you think it's dumb to necessarily walk around or go be in nature and all that stuff. And by no way, shape, or form do simple things like that cure mental illness. No, they don't. But they're good for you. They help you. And so me walking around the mall with my dad, as much as it didn't cure my depression, it did make things easier, and I was a little more clear-headed, and I felt like I had accomplished something during that time. And feeling like you did something with your day when you're depressed is a big deal. And whether it's not necessarily cleaning or doing anything, but maybe leveling up in a video game or taking a shower, doing those little things really helps too. But getting out of my apartment really made a world of difference, because I wasn't just inside all day letting my thoughts circulate all throughout my head and getting big and big and big and big and then blowing up and being horrible. It wasn't that at all. So, and let me check my notes because I forgot the third thing. Yes. So the third thing, this is probably the best one. And it's that this episode that I had, the mania, the depression, the mixed state, it proved to me that I can get through minor episodes, because I do consider this a minor episodes by myself. And I don't mean without a support system, without therapy, and without meds. I mean without having to go to my doctor to get a medication adjustment, to get some new prescription filled. I don't have any more I don't have any more pills to take, and I'm really grateful for that, because that means that I don't have any more pills to take. I can just keep taking what I've got. And I was so worried that I would have to be in his office asking, you know, hey, I need help with this, help with that. And it was going to be, oh, my condition got worse. Oh, it progressed further, blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't that, because I didn't have to go. I gave it a couple weeks and I stayed safe. I didn't give in to any of the urges that my brain wanted me to do, which is a big deal because there's a lot of habits I used to have that would end me if I kept doing them. And I got through that okay. I reached out to my support system for that. I got through that. The depression, my dad had me out of the house. My mom would call me throughout the day. I had friends call me throughout the day. And I actually spent a lot of my time at home just making skirts and sewing and doing very simple tasks. And with all of that, I actually was able to conquer this episode without medical attention. I wasn't hospitalized even. I was worried that I would give in to one of my bad urges and I'd end up in the hospital and it would just, that would ruin everything. And so this episode was definitely different because, I don't know, it's like I felt more equipped to deal with what happened. And honestly, you know, even while medicated, you can still have episodes. I mean, even while medicated, I obviously still have episodes, and I've been to therapy since it, and I talked to her about what happened and everything, and yeah, it was like I was able to actually overcome this without drastic measures. And honestly, if my episodes are this mild in the future, which I sure do hope they will be, but you can't predict a mood disorder, then I think I'll be good to go for years. And there's this thing that I hear, it's anecdotal evidence, don't quote me on this scientifically, but apparently when you hit your 30s, schizoaffective disorder gets better and less intense, and I am turning 28 this year, so yeah, about 3 years for me now because I'm 27, and I really hope that happens. But it's the last episode I had with this was actually, it was the year before last year. I believe it was in 2021, and that one did ruin things, but this one didn't. And I was really glad that this one did not wreak havoc on my personal life. It did not wreak havoc at work. I didn't lose anybody in terms of like me snapping at someone. I had no relationships ruined. I actually feel like I did pretty well. And if I was to rate the episode itself, I'd say overall, compared to my past ones, it was probably a 4 or 5 out of 10. But I'd say my response, my skills, my coping mechanisms, using all of that, we'll say 9.5 out of 10 because there's always room for improvement. But overall, I'm really proud of myself for how I did all this. And honestly, a big part of it, huge part of actually getting me through the day was all of you guys sending me wonderful comments about just hanging in there and sharing your stories, and some of you guys messaged me on Instagram, which was really nice, and all of that really made things a lot better. And getting support from you guys, like that's insane. I didn't start this channel to get support, but it just kind of happened. I'm really glad for that. So all of you that followed along with this whole thing, thank you so much for being here. And if you're new to this channel, my name's Kit and I have schizoaffective disorder, which is a condition where someone experiences symptoms of schizophrenia and symptoms of bipolar disorder or major depression, but I get bipolar disorder. And I have a whole channel talking about my experience with schizoaffective disorder, with mental illness, wide variety of things, but it's all mental health related. So yeah, subscribe if you want to see more. But other than that, that's it for this video. Hopefully next week I will be back to my normal editing style that I know and love, with fun colors and jump cuts and well planned out videos, I'd like to think, because this is just a spur of the moment thing with, again, minimal editing, I think, this time around again. So, but you guys didn't seem too put off by not having my normal editing style the last few videos. So, but yeah, okay, I'll cut it here. Thank you guys so much for watching, supporting, and following along, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.